Hello, everyone. So, I just watched Naya Visions on YouTube. She's a YouTuber who she's another tarot reader like me, and I don't really watch her that often, but I really like her a lot. I like she interviewed Stargirl the Practical Witch, and Stargirl is one of my most favorite YouTubers. But the point is, Naya Visions just did a YouTube video about how the title of her video was something like why I left my twin flame, and I don't really know everything that happened with her twin flame. Um, but basically, her relationship with her twin flame ended. And I just had a bunch of epiphanies about twin flames that I felt like I needed to come on camera and tell you about because they just all kind of popped up in my head. And what Naya says in the video is that she felt like her relationship, like she felt like her twin flame. Well, Naya said that she felt like her twin flame was her twin flame in just that one specific time in her life. And then Naya went on to say that basically what happened is she started meditating a lot and receiving downloads of information from source and all kinds of psychic um, messages, I guess, and just like information from source and consciousness upgrades, things like that. Whatever you want to call it. Basically, she had a bunch of like she had another spiritual awakening, I guess you could say, is what I think she basically. I think that's basically what happened to her. It sounds like she basically, like to me, I think she basically had like another, like spiritual awakening. Basically, like, because when you meditate a lot, you gain a lot of guidance from source. So I think that's basically what happened. Like she was meditating a lot and she was gaining all of this guidance from source. It was like downloading into her consciousness. And she had a bunch of epiphanies. And she was basically saying what I already knew about relationships, which is that, she was saying that because she was meditating so much, her vibration raised a whole bunch. And it kind of sounds like from her video that maybe her twin flame didn't really raise his vibration with her. So, yeah. That's something that I don't think a lot of people understand about relationships is that everyone you are with, all of your friends, are a vibrational match to you. Like, one thing I've realized is that like back when I was like really depressed, I would think to myself, but my friend so and so is so happy, or well, my friend so and so doesn't seem to be going through as much like difficulty with sadness or depression as I was, or anxiety. But no, I think they were all just hiding that stuff from me. Because I found out later on that, as I got to know my friends more and more, I found out that a lot of my friends do have a lot, like they did have a lot of issues with depression and anxiety that I did not know about. And I think they just hid that from me, and maybe they didn't even realize like that they had it themselves. Like some people are not really aware of how depressed they are if you're just used to feeling that way all the time, then you might not be aware of how bad your depression is. And I think that was probably the case for a lot of my friends. So, like, I was asking one of my friends on Facebook just like earlier this year if they had ever experienced depression, and like, if you're watching, you know who you are. I'm not gonna like talk bad about anyone or reveal anyone's names on my channel. And I'm never going to say anything bad about any one of my friends or people that I know on my channel, except my sister. um, my sister's the only exception to that. My sister is the only person that I will ever bad talk about on my channel. But even with my sister, I I don't reveal a lot to you guys for the sake of her privacy. But yeah. So I asked my friend if, like, on Facebook earlier this year, if they were depressed, and they were like, "No, I'm not depressed." But I think they were lying, because like like all of my friends have had depression. Like, pretty much all of my friends end up having depression. I'll meet a new, like, well, in the past anyway. I've raised my vibration a lot in the past few months. So I'm pretty sure that the people that I'm lining up with now do not have depression. But like last year, and the years before that, when I was really depressed, I would make new friends, and then I would find out later just how depressed a lot of my friends were. And like, even in college, I later found out that most of my friends had clinical depression. And I was like, how is this, like, they didn't really tell me right away or anything, because it's not exactly something that you can't really learn that your friend has clinical depression until you've known them for a few months, because people don't just go up to you and say, "Hi, my name is so and so, and I have clinical depression." It's just kind of something that you have to take some time to get to know people. So basically, I found out that a lot of the people that I met last year and the year before last and like the year before that, and in college, basically the last like 4 years or so of my life, I found out that most of the people that I have been friends with over the last 4 years of my life have clinical depression or have a lot of anxiety, and I didn't find out until later. So I was thinking that I was thinking for so much time that a lot of my friends did not have the same depth and level of depression and anxiety as me. But I think I was just wrong. Like, I think they were just better at hiding their depression than I was. Like, I tend to wear my emotions on my sleeve for the most part. I don't really like being an inauthentic, fake person who just hides how they're really feeling with a mask of happiness. Like, that's not me. So I wasn't going around crying all the time or anything, but there's nothing wrong with crying. I just mean, if I was depressed, I would basically just not be in a good mood. I wasn't gonna be super cheery just for the sake of being likable, is what I'm saying. So basically, what I'm getting at with all of this is your friends are a vibrational match to you. Like, maybe you might have a friend who has a significantly higher vibration than you. As in, maybe they are a happier person than you. But if they are a much happier person than you, then I guarantee you, you will not be talking to that person very often if you are not anywhere near as happy as they are most of the time. Because you have to be a vibrational match. That's why the people that you spend the most amount of time with are a vibrational match to you. And it's kind of scary because if anyone that you know's vibration ever significantly changes, like if any of your friends ever get to be like way more depressed than you for a significant period of time, or way happier than you for a significant period of time, then that means that their vibration has changed a lot, and the vibration is way different between you two. The vibration is too big of a difference. So you're not going to be talking to each other as much. And it's crazy because I basically had this almost debate with my same friend that I was asking if he was depressed on Facebook earlier this year, and he said no, he's not depressed. And he was saying that, and I think I wrote a blog post about this actually earlier this year, and my friend was saying that he would always, like this same friend that I was asking if he was depressed, he was saying that he would always be there for his friends, no matter what, even if they were like going through something. And yes, of course, most normal human beings would always be there for their friends, even if they are going through depression or a tough time. They wouldn't just abandon their friend because they have anxiety issues. That's what most normal human beings would do. But the thing is, it's out of our control, I think. I think it's really just out of our control because, I mean, I just know from personal experience that, like, the friends that I've had that were way more depressed than me, we just kind of stopped talking, or, they just kind of stopped talking to me. I would try to be there for them, but they were so depressed that they just isolated themselves, basically. And they didn't, like, one of my friends who was depressed, he was basically saying he didn't even see why anyone would want to ever hang out with him or talk to him. He couldn't even really understand how anyone would actually want to spend time with him, because that's how depressed he was. When you're really depressed, you tend to isolate yourself. It depends on the person, of course. I, for one, hate being alone. So, if I'm really depressed, I want to be around people. It keeps me from being super depressed. But everyone's different. So, and then, I mean, I've never really experienced having a bunch of friends who were far happier than me stop talking to me, because I've never really had friends that were far happier than me. I guess they weren't a match to me, basically. Those types of people who were very happy, I wasn't a match to them when I was depressed years ago. So I wasn't lining up with people like that. And that you're going to find, if you really take the time to analyze this in your own life, you're going to see that everything I'm talking about right now is totally true. I mean, you can try all you want to be there for your friends who were going through things, but I guarantee you they will just stop talking to you and isolate themselves, or you'll just drift apart no matter how hard you try. They're just going to stop talking to you. Okay? Like, that's just the way it happens. And if they don't stop talking to you, and they're super depressed or something, or going through something, then the reason why they did not stop talking to you is because you're still a vibrational match to them. So you are probably either unaware of how depressed you are, or, yeah, that's basically it. You're just, or you're aware of it, and, Yeah, either you're aware of it or you're just not aware of it. But either way, if you're still talking to anyone in your life on a regular basis, then it's because you are a vibrational match to that person. Otherwise, anyone that you've ever stopped talking to, you've only stopped talking to them because you weren't a vibrational match to each other anymore. And this works the same way in relationships. So basically, let's get back to Naya Visions here. Naya Visions was saying that she raised her vibration a whole bunch and she got a high vibration, and that's why her and her twin flame broke up. It's because the vibrational difference was too big. And that is literally the only real reason why anyone ever breaks up. And that's why the divorce rate is so high. That's why, breakups happen all the time. No matter how hard you try, it happens. If anyone's vibration changes and there's too big of a vibrational difference, that's why the breakup happens. That's why you stop talking or you drift apart from people. It's only because your vibration changes. You can say, oh, it was because so and so did that, or you did this, or they did that to you, but that's not really what's going on here. The vibration of a person is what determines our actions. Our actions come from our vibration at the end of the day. Because an action, once you take an action, once you take any action, it's because there has been a momentum of vibration building up. And it starts with your thoughts and your feelings, and then that creates, your thoughts and your feelings create your vibration. And eventually, when you've had a buildup of enough thoughts and feelings, you're going to take some sort of an action. And that momentum is of how often you act in a certain way, think in a certain way, and how often you feel certain feelings. That overall is your vibration. So it includes your actions as well. Your vibration, your actions are just your vibration. So that's basically what's going on. And Naya was saying that she thinks that her twin flame was her twin flame for that specific period of time in her life. Because, well, vibration just changes. So, I mean, I guess, well, it made me think of Abraham Hicks. That's the epiphany that I had. And I actually told this to a college professor once. I don't know why, but in my poetry class in college, my college professor was like asking us about soulmates for some reason. I don't remember how we got onto this conversation about soulmates in my poetry class, but it's poetry class, so I mean, we were probably writing love poems or something. And I remember telling my college professor, well, I think that maybe we have different soulmates for different periods of time in our life. And I don't know, I mean, I guess that's just what I was thinking about, how maybe that's why people drift apart and then, things like that happen. Maybe I was thinking at the time in college that maybe it's because you have a different soulmate for different periods of time in your life. And you know what? My college professor was a kind of an a-hole because he was like, oh, so maybe we have different soulmates for different times. And then he sort of smiled about it like he thought it was a dumb idea, but it's actually not a dumb idea. You can have different soulmates for different periods of time in your life. And it was just a theory of mine anyway. It was just an idea. I'm not saying that I had proven it at the time, so I don't understand why he was so judgmental about it. It sounds like he was kind of just stuck in this very traditional idea that maybe there's a one and only person, and I don't know if that's true. I wanted to believe that there is a one and only person for everyone, but I do not think that that is necessarily true anymore. I don't know. I don't know what to think about that. I always really wanted, even now, I still want to believe that there is a person that is just like your one and only person. Even though I know that everyone has multiple soulmates, I still want to believe that there is like a one and only person for everyone that you will just find, and you two will be able to just stay in the vortex together and stay in alignment with each other and maintain a similar vibration so you don't drift apart, and you'll just stay together for a lifetime. You know? I mean, that's kind of what we all want, but I don't know what I think anymore about that, because Naya was basically saying that she felt like her twin flame was her twin flame for just that one specific time in her life. And then Abraham Hicks, who is my most favorite spiritual teacher and law of attraction teacher, she basically was, someone asked Abraham about twin flames and soulmates, and Abraham said that we're all soulmates with each other, and that basically anyone has the potential to be your soulmate when you're in alignment. And you know, my computer, it just got brighter when I said that, so I think that's a sign that I'm on to something here. Like, that's a sign the source is telling me, yeah, you're right. At least that's what I'm going to take it as. I don't know. I don't want to believe that, though. And when Abraham said that, I was just like, oh, that's such bull. You know what? Because it's just like, so anyone can be your soulmate. What if you have nothing in common with that person? And I don't think that that's what she was saying exactly. I don't think she was saying that you're just going to end up with someone you have nothing in common with. She was basically saying that when you get into the vortex, like, this is the epiphany that I had right before I started filming. I just thought to myself, okay, if everyone was in the vortex, if everyone was in alignment with source and their inner being, then everyone would be bringing out the best in themselves. If everyone was just a happy person most of the time, and therefore in alignment with source most of the time, then everyone would be the living embodiment of the best parts of themselves. Everyone would be super successful, super happy, achieving everything that they wanted, for the most part. Everyone would be manifesting all the things they really wanted most of the time, and therefore everyone would be the best versions of themselves. So I guess it's not crazy to think that if somehow everyone on this planet could get into the vortex and just be happy most of the time, then everyone would be the best versions of themselves. So even if it seems like you don't have anything in common with someone else, if you're the best version of yourself and that person is the best version of themselves, and you're both in alignment with source, and source never looks at another person in judgment or looks at the flaws in anyone else. So if you're really truly in the vortex, then you're going to be able to much more easily find things in common and see things you appreciate in another person who on the surface might seem totally different from you. So in theory, you could line up with, like, and be a soulmate to, like, yeah, millions and billions of other people on the planet if that was ever going to happen. But that's not going to happen, because not everyone is going to be able to get into the vortex most of the time enough to where we as a planet would be able to see the soulmate in, like, everyone. Even though technically, yes, I do believe Abraham is right that we are all soulmates, but I think that because Abraham also said that when you mate with your soul by being happy most of the time and getting into alignment with source, and therefore getting into alignment with source, when you mate with your soul in that way, then you mate with someone who is also mated with their soul. So you will line up with the best soulmate, basically, who is a vibrational match to you, for you. So you will line up with someone who has, the things you want in a partner, as far as personality, looks, things about them that you like. You know, you'll line up with the right person. So it's not just going to be anybody. So basically, when you get into the vortex, you're going to line up with someone that has the things that you want in an ideal partner. But there's still going to have to be a vibrational match to you. And if anyone in that partnership ever significantly changes their vibration, then you're just going to drift apart. And it's scary. It's just really scary to me, guys. And I guess I always wanted to believe that, and Abraham does say that it is possible to be in an ever evolving lifetime relationship with someone that lasts for a lifetime. Like Abraham herself, she was married to Jerry Hicks like for decades, I think, before he died from cancer. So, I mean, they probably would have stayed married until Jerry or her, like they, you know, if Jerry had not gotten cancer, then I'm pretty sure that they would have stayed together forever, you know, like forever. So like for a lifetime. So basically Abraham did say that you can stay with someone for a whole lifetime. But it's just that you would have to both be able to stay in alignment with source, and you would both have to be able to be happy people most of the time, and no one would be able to significantly change their vibration for too much time, or else you would drift apart and have a breakup. And I mean, that's why you see a lot of people have on and off relationships where it's like you know, maybe their vibration is a certain way most of the time, but then something happens, like a big significant life event or something, and then maybe they'll have a different vibration for a few months to a year, but then as soon as their vibration goes back to its normal set point, they get back with that person again, you know? So that's kind of the way it is, like, and it's scary because you can just lose um, friends and romantic partners at any time when the vibration changes between you two, or between you and your friends. So yeah, it is scary, but like, it's good to be aware of it, because that's why you just want to. But the other thing with this is that I believe it was maybe Leor Alexandra, one of the other law of attraction teachers on YouTube that I watch, was saying that when you are in no, it wasn't Leor, it was Abraham again. Okay, so Abraham Hicks also said that luckily when you are in the vortex most of the time, the majority of your friends will raise their vibration with you, or you know, they'll stay in your life, so you won't lose the majority of the friends in your life. And that's why I have not lost the majority of the people that I have been friends with over the years. Like, you know, like they're just always going to be there. Like, I mean, even though I've significantly raised my vibration a lot, and I don't really talk to them as much because of that, to be honest. But I can still always just text them and, you know, we'll talk again. So I don't know if I raised their vibration with me or what happened, but basically, I guess what I'm trying to say is you don't have to be so scared about raising your vibration and losing friends. It's just that you have to know that when you do raise your vibration a lot, you probably will lose some people in your life. And I'm gonna just be honest here, guys. Like, if you significantly raise your vibration, then you want to do everything in your power to help your romantic partner raise their vibration with you. Otherwise, I'm just going to tell you right now that it's likely you might drift apart and break up. So, yeah. But you can always get back together with someone and manifest someone back. It's just they have to raise their vibration with you. You have to get them to raise their vibration with you. Otherwise, it's just not going to work out, and you'll probably have a breakup whenever you do significantly raise your vibration. So that's why breakups happen, and that's why breakups of friendships happen. Um, yeah, that's why breakups happen. And but the good thing is that the majority of the people in your life will always be there. The majority of your friends will always be there. But I have basically noticed and had my own downloads of information about this, basically like just now, like right before I filmed this video, that basically it's usually the romantic partner that you have that you will most likely drift apart from when you significantly raise your vibration, because it's kind of easier to raise your vibration, and I feel like it's not as depressing to lose a few friends when the majority of your friends are still going to be there when you raise your vibration. If but if you're a person who's always been happy, then you don't have to worry about losing a bunch of friends or anything. But if you're like me and you were always depressed, then when you start significantly raising your vibration, yeah, you're probably going to lose a few friends. And if you have a boyfriend or girlfriend, then I'm just going to tell you right now, it's likely that you will lose that person unless you can get them to raise their vibration with you. So you gotta try to do everything you can to get your romantic partner to get happy with you, or else it's gonna be in your highest good to be with someone else who is also happy like you. And Source will eventually bring you someone like that who is at the same vibration as you, who is also a happy person most of the time. So you don't have to worry about ending up alone or anything. You're going to be with whoever is a vibrational match to you and in your highest good for you in the end. You're not going to end up alone when you raise your vibration. It's just that I don't want to sugarcoat things and have you guys start raising your vibration and then you're wondering like, wait, why are people disappearing from my life? Well, it's because those people aren't a vibrational match to you, and unless they can raise their vibration with you, they're probably going to drift out of your life. But you don't want to sit around and just be a miserable person for the rest of your life just so that you can keep certain people around, because then you're just going to be miserable, and then those people are going to be miserable too, and you're just going to be sitting around miserable together. So there's just no point in doing that, and that's why you have to raise your vibration. And just try your best. You need to just try your best to get your boyfriend or girlfriend to raise their vibration with you so that you can stay together, because remember that Abraham Hicks says that you can have a relationship that lasts for an entire lifetime. You can be married to someone for 60 plus years as long as you two can both stay in the vortex most of the time, so that you'll stay in this ever-evolving harmonious relationship. But if anyone changes their vibration super significantly, or too significantly, so if there's ever too much of a vibrational difference, then you might have a breakup, and then maybe you can always get back together again later and manifest them back. But there has to be a vibrational match to each other, basically. So any relationship you have, you're with that person because you are a vibrational match to them. Whether you realize it or not, you are a vibrational match to each other. And if you ever wake up, it's not anything that has to do with anything anyone did. It's not really about that. It's about how the vibration changed. Um, yeah, so, and I'm not saying that, um, yeah, I think that's basically what I'm trying to say. Like, it's not really so much about what anyone did, it's just that the vibration changed. So, yeah. That's all I have to say. That's just the epiphanies that I was having. It's this idea that maybe you can have. So I guess I'm starting to think now that maybe you can have um, a different. Like, I always believed that we all have multiple soulmates. I just always thought that we all have one twin flame, and I still believe that we all have one twin flame. However, if you are not a vibrational match to your twin flame, then you will drift apart, and there's always going to be another soulmate for you to line up with when you do get into the vortex, or there's always going to be another soulmate for us to line up with, because everyone in, like, every single human being on this planet is a soulmate technically. So you can easily line up in a relationship with anyone, and you will be in a relationship with them as long as you are a vibrational match. So it just makes me think that, okay, maybe, I mean, I do still believe that we have just one twin flame, but the whole soulmate thing, it just makes me think, like, okay, maybe we do have different soulmates for different times in our life after all. Just like how I was telling my college professor who thought I was wrong, but you know what? I'm right in a way, because you have to be a vibrational match to who you are with, and since we're all technically soulmates, whoever you line up with is who you are a vibrational match to. But if you want to line up with a soulmate who has the, personality and things you actually want in an ideal partner, then you have to mate with your soul. You have to be happy most of the time, or at least get happier, to line up with someone who feels right for you. And then to line up with your twin flame, you really have to be in the vortex, I think. And that's why if you ever drift apart from your twin flame, it's because it's just the same reason why anyone ever drifts apart. The vibrational difference between you two was too big. And then with twin flames, it's even more complicated because, like Naya Visions was saying in her video, twin flames mirror each other. So anything you have going on inside of you that needs to be healed, your twin flame is going to reflect that back to you by basically triggering you. Like, how when you're dealing with something and then you watch a TV show and that thing is in that show and it's happening to the characters and it triggers you and you feel anxious and like, oh, it's triggering this past trauma. That's what twin flames do to each other, because you're mirrors. So anything you have going on inside of you that needs healing, your twin flame is going to reflect that back to you. Your twin flame might do this by being mean to you, or whatever, or maybe, like, if you are a person who has a lot of jealousy or something, your twin flame might say things that, like, trigger that jealousy in you, like, really hard. Like, they're just kind of like your twin flames just constantly trigger each other into healing. They're basically harassing you into healing, in a way. Like, you kind of have this soul contract you made with each other. I really believe that twin flames have a soul contract that they made with each other before they were born into this lifetime. Like, I think they got together and they're like, okay, I'm gonna do this thing to you, and then you're gonna hurt me this way, then I'm gonna hurt you this way, and we're going to harass each other into healing. That's basically what we all said with our twin flames. We were just like, I'm gonna do this, you're gonna do that, we're gonna really mess with each other and kind of hurt each other, but it's going to be for our highest good to cause us to heal. As crazy as that sounds, why would we agree to hurting each other before we were born? I don't know, but we did. And sometimes you have to go through pain to grow as a person. If there are very strong missions and purpose and life purposes that we came into this lifetime with, sometimes we wanted that challenge. We wanted someone to kind of do something that like harassed us into healing or harassed us into growing to be a certain way and to develop certain things in this lifetime. Like for me, I know I wanted to be a very strong person. I wanted to be someone who is in touch with my emotions and yet like very strong. I wanted to be someone who's very authentic. I wanted to be someone who is myself no matter what. So you can see how I would have had soul contracts with people who sort of made me like kind of forced me to be myself no matter what and things like that. That's basically what twin flames do to each other. So that's why twin flame relationships are so complex. And twin flames, I would say twin flames often have on and off relationships for that reason, because of the mirroring effect. You're just triggering each other all the time until you heal things. But what the good thing about twin flames though is that once you are able to be in the vortex most of the time, and once you have healed all that stuff, then you can easily have a happy, harmonious, never-ending lifetime relationship that lasts. You can have a relationship that lasts for a lifetime with your twin flame once you heal all of that stuff. But until you do heal all of that stuff, your twin flame is going to trigger you into healing by mirroring to you exactly the way you treat yourself. Like the way you talk to yourself, if you're a type of person who hates yourself or doesn't like a lot of things about yourself, if you criticize yourself a lot, if you treat yourself meanly a lot, your twin flame will treat you the exact same way. They will treat you meanly, they will hurt you, they will trigger you. And they're doing it to show you the way you treat yourself. They're doing that, they're triggering you to mirror to you. This is how you treat yourself. This is what you think about yourself. I'm going to reflect outwardly to you the way you feel on the inside. So they're mirroring you, and that's what mirroring is. So that's the complicated thing about twin flames, but but we agreed to do that to each other. Twin flames agreed to do that to each other before they were born. So, because they wanted to grow and heal and change, or not change, but like they wanted to like grow and develop certain, I guess maybe you could call them personality traits or strengths from experiencing that kind of pain. And the only way that we could really grow to have these like personality aspects, like how I wanted to be super authentic no matter what anyone thinks of or says to me, I had to experience pain to get to that place of being, so confident. And that's why, you know, I had soul contracts with various people that would get me to the point where I am in my life now. And that's why you have a soul contract with your twin flame, because you wanted to get to be a certain way in this lifetime. You had a very strong life purpose and mission. And we have missions with our twin flames. And I'm probably going to make a video about that in a few months. But yeah, or maybe next year but the thing is, I want to do some more research about that, and learn some more about that, because twin flames are supposed to have like a mission in this lifetime that they do together. Like, for example, Daniel Barenboim, is it Daniel Barenboim or Daniel Barenboim? I don't know. I can't think of how to say his last name, but Daniel Barenboim and like Jacqueline Dupre. Daniel, he was this huge conductor, and Jacqueline, she's one of the best cellists of the 20th century, and I believe they were twin flames. And, she died very young, so they didn't really get to have a lot of time together. But I believe they were twin flames. And they had this very strong mission of basically just to make music together. That can be like the twin flame mission, I think. It's just like, but the music they made was so beautiful that when you listen to their music, it takes you right into the vortex. It raises your vibration. If you love classical music, that is, like I do. Then when you listen to those two play together, it takes you to a whole other world. It raises your vibration, and that's what the twin flame mission is. It's something where they get together, and usually it's either like some kind of art thing that they do together, or like a business or something like that. But it's just like something they do together, that when they get together and do that thing, it raises people's vibrations. It makes people happier, and that's everyone's basic life purpose is joy anyway. So like, I think Jenna Marbles and Julian, what's Julian's last name again? Julian, I don't remember his last name right now. But Jenna Marbles and Julian, I believe they are also twin flames. And, they have a podcast together. They make YouTube videos together. They're like such a great duo. And they make everyone laugh so much. Like, you're always going to laugh so hard when Jenny and Julian just talk about anything in a video or their podcast or anything. And that's their mission. It's to just raise people's vibrations by just making people laugh. What is another example? I want to give you guys one third example of people who I think are twin flames. This is a fictional example, but Rose DeWitt Bukater and Jack Dawson. I think that's her name, right? Rose DeWitt Bukater. And Jack Dawson, I believe, in Titanic, I believe, yeah, they're twin flames, obviously, duh, but like, duh, of course, but like, so I don't know, we don't really get a sense in the movie exactly what their twin flame mission would have been, because they only got a few days together in that lifetime. But I think that because Rose became an actress, and because she wanted to be a much more free-spirited person, and because Jack was already like this adventuring, free-spirited person, it's not difficult for me to believe that Rose and Jack might have become actors together. Because Rose became an actress, so maybe their twin flame mission was to both be actors and raise people's vibrations by making beautiful movies, so that when people watch those movies, it raises their vibration. Or maybe Maybe it was to go on adventures together and enlighten people or something. But I think it probably would have been something like making movies together. Which makes sense because, James Cameron, he's a film director and he wrote the movie himself, so obviously he has a great love of film, and it wouldn't surprise me if, like, he imagined, what would have happened if Jack had lived, and I wouldn't be surprised if Jack would have been an actor as well, because he was good looking, and he certainly fooled everyone at dinner into thinking he was rich. I think he would have been a great actor. I mean, he would have been a fantastic actor. And imagine if him and Rose had acted in movies together, like Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. Like, can you imagine the chemistry between each other? They would have, like, given Fred and Ginger a run for their money. Like, wow. Now I need to go ship Jack and Rose and their life together if Jack had not died. What would have happened? I'm going to write about that, you guys. Let me know in the comments if you want to see me do a video with, like, a drawings, because I can draw, if you didn't know. Let me know if you want to see, like, a video where I draw and ship Jack and Rose together and what their life would have been like if Jack had not died, and, like, them making movies together and stuff. I think I can do it, you guys. I think that would be fun to do. I want to do more skits and fun things. I want to draw for you guys. I'm not, like, the best drawer in the world, okay? It takes me forever to draw, like, one drawing, but I do have a comic book, and I'm going to link my comic book in the description to this video. So make sure you like and subscribe this video, and make sure you like and subscribe to my channel if you liked this video. This is a much longer video than I usually make. Just saying, don't expect to always have to sit through an hour-long video from me, because that is a rarity for me. Like, usually my videos are about 20 minutes. They're kind of long, but that's only because I'm trying to teach you guys about, like, a lot of things that take a lot of explanation. And this video took a lot more explanation than I thought it was. I thought I was going to get on here and talk to you guys for 15 minutes, and now here we are, like, almost 53 minutes into this video. But I get carried away sometimes. I never try to put a time limit on my videos. Usually I don't even plan out what I'm going to say. It's very rare for me, actually, to plan out what I'm going to say. I usually just sit down and talk. And I like that because it feels more authentic. And one of my biggest life purposes is to be authentic, which is what I said in one of my last videos. So, I mean, obviously, everyone should be authentic. And it doesn't seem like being authentic should be a life purpose. That should just be like a given. But when it's always been such a struggle for me my whole life to be, authentic and just be myself, that is basically one of my life purposes, is to be authentic. And if you really think about it, there's a lot of people, like, I would probably tell you right now, most people are not really being their 100% true authentic selves. And we hide a lot of aspects of ourselves as a human race. So it's my life purpose to wake people up to stop doing that. And thank you for watching if you stuck around this long. I love you guys. Bye.